Guys, summer's almost over and there's work to be done before winter arrives. Allow our good friends at Willie Gardens to help you out with all your outside weatherization needs. No job too big, too small. They've been helping and serving our area for over a decade. Need a road plowed or maybe your business parking lot? Let them help. Don't get stuck inside during the winter months. Give them a call at 606-344-8790. Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you a jerky jerk?
Honey, can you take dinner out of the oven?
Yeah, no problem.
Honey! Honey!
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Honey, I think it's overcooked.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. From small town whispers to city lights, we're hunting the truth in the dead of night. Conspiracies spin and the rumors fly. Country Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or the tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating.
Good evening, guys. So, like always, man, I want to start it off, give RJ's Beef Jerky a big shout out. We are the official No Jerky Jerk podcast around here. But starting off, as everybody can see, we got a new guest on. Paul is out doing a wedding, ain't it? Ain't that what he's doing today?
He's doing a wedding
Yep,
today.
doing a wedding day. So we have old Larry Dickerson in here. You want to introduce yourself?
Well, yeah, that's my name, Larry Dickerson, and I appreciate you guys inviting me to come on, and known Ronnie Bright for quite some time, and even Paul himself, he did our son's wedding last September of 24, and I actually got to officiate that wedding, and first time I ever dealt with Paul at a wedding or a wedding reception was back in 2019, and he does a great job of DJing wedding receptions and everything. And he, knowing me as a ordained minister at the reception, he had told me, he said, "You better get you something to eat and enjoy it, and then get on out of here, because this wedding party, they're wanting to party, so to speak, and play some music that you probably won't like." And I thought, well, I'm a grown man. I mean, I don't have the same taste, and all of us as adults, we don't have the same taste in music genres or anything like that. But I do remember, I'll never forget it, sitting there eating with my wife and my daughter and some other friends, and I'm still in my tie. I took my jacket off, and Paul actually calls me out, and he says, all right, Pastor Larry, I warned you. And sure enough, there was some very foul language in those lyrics, and I just kind of looked at him and laughed. He said, "I told you, I warned you." But nonetheless, about 5 minutes after that, we got on out of there because things got a little crazy. But
now I'll tell you a story what he did to me. He sent me some songs to mix for a wedding for a dance that they were going to do, a program dance. I'm like trying to edit these songs together because they wanted them in a certain way, and I'm trying to get the beats to line up and stuff, and I'm listening to these lyrics, and I'm like, Paul, this is what the groom is going to be dancing with his bride on? And it,
yeah,
to me it sounds like you're cheapening,
Well,
but that's what they want.
I've been acting as a minister myself. I done one yesterday.
okay,
And something I'm starting to realize is that's kind of something you got to, I don't know, like not really prepare yourself for, is that you got to get in that mind frame of, like you just said, everybody's different. You know, even though you're acting as one certain thing, you can't tell them what to do. You can't.
Right.
You gotta let them enjoy their day how they want to enjoy it.
yeah.
So you sticking around, and kudos for Paul for giving you a heads up.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many people will do that?
Right. Sometimes, and I've been to a lot of weddings and officiated, I won't say a lot, but probably a dozen or so, which ain't too bad. But yeah, you're right, Jericho. You're there, and they don't care what they play or what they say or how they act, or what they're drinking and everything. And I'm not knocking anybody for that. I mean, to each their own. But I think when you're officiating a wedding, we have to take that opportunity to be the light that the Lord would have us to be in that brief moment of time. Yes, we honor their wishes about how they want to share their vows with each other and what scripture they want read and everything. But when it comes to doing that in a godly manner, that's where we take it seriously, and we take that opportunity in our prayer over the couple. And I always pray, if there's somebody here that doesn't know you, convict their heart and let something that's said or done here this afternoon, you prick their heart and put that conviction upon them, that we try to plant that seed, for that one opportunity, because not everybody goes to church on Sunday morning, Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, revivals, Bible school. But there'll be a lot of people, family members come in from town and everything to attend the wedding. And you guys know that. And so, it is an opportunity to plant that seed.
Well, to witness onto people.
Yeah. And we need to be like Jesus. Jesus didn't stop the wedding.
Right.
He didn't stop the wedding party.
Right.
He allowed it to keep going. So, that's let them have their day of celebration, pray for them, and mentor them. Like if you're officiating, right now, for me, when I officiate, the reason why I don't do a lot of weddings is because I require counseling first. They need to be counseled with me a few times before I even agree to officiate their wedding. I want to make sure that at least they understand God is number one, right? And then each other is their next in line, and nothing comes between that. So I at least want them to make sure that they are basing their marriage on godly morals and foundations before I agree to marry them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Really, there ain't. Now me, we're this is a whole new journey for me. And I enjoy it so far. I really do. But I'm not being that picky. Somebody asks me to do something, I'm there to help. I want to help in any way I can.
Yeah.
With it being, within my
Well, that's not.
ability.
I don't think it's
I'm
picky.
not going to do anything that I don't feel comfortable doing or saying.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't think it's picky. It gets me opportunity to witness and testify and teach them what a biblical husband is, what a biblical wife is, so they have a good foundation to keep that marriage going.
Yeah.
If I didn't do that, there's a lot of marriages out here where people won't counsel them and give them that foundation, because I would much rather them say, you know what, you're right. Let's hold on the wedding for a year, right? And then and see where it stands then for them to get married and then be divorced in a year.
Yeah.
That's not helping anybody.
No,
So-
it's not.
And you want them to know also that, God ordained marriage.
Right.
Between a man and a
woman.
And, so if we do have that opportunity to counsel them pre-marriage, it's very important that they know. And it's not like you're trying to talk them out of marriage.
No.
But you want them to realize and know, hey, it's most important. And even not in marriage, even as single folks, we're to put God first. I know everybody doesn't do that.
Right.
But there's a triangle diagram to where at the top of that triangle is God, and then over on the left is the husband, and over on the right is the wife. And the closer you both as individuals get to God, the closer you come together, if you can visualize that.
Like a triangle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God's at the top. We're on each corner, us and our spouses. And the closer as individuals we get to God, the closer we get to each other, the stronger our marriage is. If one of us, if I'm, reading my Bible and doing Bible study and going to church and everything, and I'm trying my best to be a godly man. Nobody's perfect. Just don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But if one spouse is doing more than the other, and the other one's down here, and this one's getting closer to God, this one's not. Whether it's the husband or the wife. So I don't know if you've ever seen that triangle.
Yeah, I can visualize it as you're saying it, and while you're talking, that eventually something's going to fall apart right there.
Yeah, exactly.
If one's moving, the other one's not.
It will fall apart.
Yeah,
and it's on the husband, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the head of the household.
He's the head and the spiritual leader of the household. So he really but I've seen a lot in today's world where the woman is the one taking the spiritual lead, because the man wants nothing to do with church.
Yeah.
And it really, you could tell it affects the children, it affects the home, it affects everything.
Statistics prove that. I don't know the numbers on it, but it's somewhere up in the close to 90% of young people, if the father is active in church, maybe not even active in church, but actively attending church, then 90% of kids in the family follow suit. But then that number drastically goes down if the father is not involved in church, and only if it's the mother.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we get the stereotypes of fatherless homes and kids don't have a father figure in their house. Well, numbers don't lie. Crime rates up for those individuals. They spend more time in jail. They're in trouble, and even getting a good foundational occupation later on in life. So it's very important as godly fathers, especially in today's society, because when we were growing up, we didn't have social media and everything.
Right.
Now these kids have this in the palm of their hands.
They're born with it now.
They're bored with it, but they're also looking at social influencers.
Right.
And, you know, well, society tells me I have to dress this way and look this way. No, society might be telling you that, but you are, who God made you to be. You know, don't let this world define our sons and our daughters of who they are. They are who God made them to be.
I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
They let peer pressure get the best of them. And if they don't look and act like everybody else, they don't fit in.
Right.
It's like, no, it ain't about fitting into who's around you. It's about fitting into who you are.
Exactly.
You can't get kids to understand that, though.
Right. You can't. And you nailed it on the head. Peer pressure. It's everywhere. I mean, I don't know if you, well, I know Jericho don't. I don't know if you do, Ronnie, or not, but I came from a broken home. My mom and dad divorced when I was 3 years old.
I'm very familiar with that.
But remarried, and neither one of my parents raised us in church. And I was raised, my stepdad was an alcoholic. He was a drug dealer, and it cost him his life later on at the hands of his own son, my half-brother. But I started going to church because I lived next to Ronnie Smith. And, you know, his parents being pastors and everything, I was within walking distance of the church. You know, we're here downtown Corbin. Just imagine walking from here maybe down to where the light is at the foot of Gordon Hill. That's about the distance from our house to where this church was.
That's only a half mile.
Yeah. So I was within walking distance of Ronnie's house, and because they lived in a parsonage behind the church, and we were friends. So I was like, yeah, my friends go to church, I'm going to go to church. And my mom wasn't against it. She encouraged me actually to go to church. But I got to kind of see the other side of things, because when you're raised in I would say a dark environment like that, being around alcohol all the time, you know, there's 7 days in a week. My stepdad, probably 5 days out of the 7, he was drunk. This was before our area was wet or anything. We would make multiple trips down across the state line to Jellicoe, first stop, drive through, get cases of beer for him and everything. And it was, you know, I mean, at the time, we talk about peer pressure as young kids. Back then, I was ashamed of it. I couldn't have friends come to my house and stay all night with me.
Right.
I was ashamed of it. And unless their parents were also involved in the same activities. Right. So when I got to go spend time with friends that wasn't raised around that, I got to see the other side of it. And then, you know, like I said, my mom and dad divorced when I was 3. That would have been in 76, 77, both remarried. I got reunited with my dad, who lived in Cincinnati at the time, in at 82. And he, you know, he didn't, and I'm not patting him on the back. He has his flaws as well, but he didn't drink or do drugs or anything like that I know of in front of me. But when I got reunited with him, I got to go spend holidays with him. You know, Thanksgiving weekend, a couple weeks during Christmas, and then a month or so during summer break. And so I got to see, you know, there was a better way of life rather than what I was being raised around.
Right.
And I think, you know, my mom would tell you today, you know, she hated that we were in the situation we were in. It is what it is, or it was what it was. And, but I think it's made me who I am today. I mean, I'm just a nobody, but I'm better for, I guess, being around that and seeing both aspects of it. Because my stepdad was a violent man as well. When he was drinking, he was physically abusive to my mom, and he and I got into it multiple times, physically altercations. There was many times I would stay up at night. He would get a gun out just to shoot.
Right.
He'd shoot outside. I mean, you know, so I remember 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning being up on a school night and going to school, you know, just wore out because I didn't get no sleep. But I tried to hide it. I tried to hide it from my teachers, from my friends at school. I mean, I went to school with Ronnie. Ronnie Bright's a couple years older than me. I'm not. But, I mean, I remember him from school, and at school you don't want people to. When you're a teenager, and you're faced with peer pressure, and you're trying to fit in. You don't want people to know what your home life's like if it's ugly.
Right.
And kids like that today, they're still like that today. And it's not the kid's fault of how they're raised. It's not a kid's fault of what mom and dad does. But I think that, that's helped me be a better person today and really get a hold of Jesus and the Lord and say, hey, because his word tells us, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him.
Right. And
that's what we've tried to
definitely see it, though, not just like I hear your testimony, Jericho hearing that too, but Jericho doesn't know, but I know your kids. I know your family, and your family is like a role model to many families. You got 3 amazing kids. And they're all pretty much on their own, except for the youngest now.
She's a senior this year.
And it's going to be pretty soon that she's going to be going down the road on her own, but they all are stepping up, and they're showing that example that you showed them on how to be a dad and a parent and just a Christian in general.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, we try as parents. I know Jericho does as well. And this is the first time I've met Jericho today.
Right.
But to hear him say, now he's taking this step and he's ministering to people, and it's new to him. But again, those people in your life, your family, not only just your spouse and your kids, but your extended family and your friends, your coworkers. They're going. They see that change.
Oh yeah.
And that's what Jesus tells us to be. We're to be the salt,
right,
and the light of the world that he would have us to be.
Now, that's the thing is you can, and I can say this because Ronnie would say it too, Ronnie Smith. But you could go talk to people and say Ronnie Smith. They'd be like, oh yeah, he's a good guy, and then you'll find some that go, I don't know about Ronnie, but and you'll find some about me that way too. I've never found
about all of us,
but I've never found anybody that way with you. Anytime that it's Larry,
not looked hard enough.
But anytime that you mention Larry Dickerson, they're like, oh, I love that man. That's the greatest dude in the world. But now
we try to be who God's called us to be, and like I said, I've got my flaws. I'm not perfect. My wife can tell you that. My kids can tell you that. But it's I just want to be who God wants me to be. I'm not a Ronnie Smith. I'm not a Ronnie Bright. I'm not, Jericho. I'm not Paul Buchanan. I'm Larry Dickerson.
Right.
And that's who I am. Just this old bald-headed guy. I love life. I love people. I like, we was talking about before we came on here, about doing PA and stuff for a local high school, and watching kids. Corbin just had their homecoming this past Friday night, and I get to announce all that homecoming court, all that stuff during halftime, and get to announce the winner, and to see the young lady just it was
light
so
up,
unexpected, and her jaw dropped, and her eyes was bright, and all of her friends, her classmates that voted for her was so happy for her. So you just that brings joy to my life, to see other people smile and laugh and enjoy life. But then again, you think of these kids in today's society. Again, going back to not having social media when we were in school, and we just dealt with peer pressure because, Jimmy had nice clothes and Johnny drove a Camaro to school. Therefore, we wanted the Camaro or Mustang or whatever.
Or we'd be in a smoking area because we had smoking areas.
We had smoking areas down there at high school when we were in school. But my dad, my first car, my dad gave me an '83 Olds Cutlass. Was my very first car. And
that was a good car, though.
Yeah, he gave it to me for a graduation gift my junior year because he said, "I'm proud of you, and I know you're going to graduate. You're not quitting school, so I'll go ahead and give it to you now when you get your license." And so he gave me that car, and I drove it with pride. I was proud of it. It was a nice car until I got rear-ended and I only had liability insurance and stuff. But
Right.
Yeah.
I had to work for my first car. My mama, she raised me the best she could, but my dad was an alcoholic, and they divorced when I was young. And there's a whole story on that, but I kind of told Jericho a little bit over lunch the other day about, my dad was pretty abusive too, so alcohol had come and stole him from me. But that's the difference is we sometimes overcompensate with our kids though because of the past we had,
right,
and we forget that we are who we are because of some of the hard times.
Yeah.
And we make it too easy on them, and my kids amaze me sometimes at how they can just disregard something that I would have took, and been so appreciative over. I remember, getting socks for Christmas one year and being, almost in tears because I knew Mom didn't have nothing. But now it's like, this is the iPhone 10. I wanted the iPhone 15.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? I mean, I worked my tail off for that.
Yeah.
So
it's just teaching them too to be more appreciative of what they've got.
And it's hard to do in this world.
It is.
With the influencers, like you said, because everybody, you're talking peer pressure and always wanting to keep up. It's the school these days is, even the coaches right on down tell them, you need iPhone, you need iPhone. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not an iPhone guy to begin with, but to tell my kid they need an iPhone, then I've got them an Android. Because that's what I could afford.
Yeah. It makes it hard. I mean, it's hard to raise
I'm an
kids.
Android guy. I love Android. I hate iPhones. Hate them.
Yeah.
I just have an iPhone because that's what my wife got.
Yeah.
We've always had an iPhone, not an Android. So I'm not very tech savvy either. And I just, if I was to go with an Android, I'd probably be hollering at you guys, hey, can you show me how to work this thing?
That's what I always said. The iPhone's more for the older or the younger. Because the in-between techie savvy group goes Android most of the time, because we can do more with Android than you could ever do with iPhone. Yeah. So, and a lot better.
Android's more business savvy.
Yeah.
iPhones ain't.
Yeah, the businesses. When I was at Maximus, they did do an iPhone every now and then, but they got rid of them because they would be so limiting on the software that we'd use. But anyways, we're moving off subject a little bit. But you and I had talked about maybe trying to get a conference together a couple of years ago about marriage counseling and stuff like that. Because you've been married, you and Rachel have been married how long?
28 years now.
28 years. And Linda and I have 26, and we're going on 27 here soon.
Yeah.
Me and Jessica's been married for 12.
And we had talked about maybe, eventually renting out the Corbin Technology, that area there, and holding a conference.
Yeah.
And trying to get the churches to come. And then, of course, not just for marriage, but for, anybody thinking about getting married too.
Right.
I still want to do that at some point, because I think that's what's needed, especially with the young groups coming in. Because, like he said, he don't counsel anybody, and this is an opportunity to counsel anybody that's wanting to jump into this marriage or even thought about it. And you've learned things over the years, and I've learned things over the years. Marriage is not easy.
No, it's not. That'd be the very first thing I tell anybody. This is not easy. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have arguments, and it takes both of you. She has flaws. You have flaws. You're going to learn to live with those flaws. You love her, right?
I'll edit that part out where she has flaws.
well, but I mean,
because any married man will know you're not going to go tell her.
No, but I mean, but I'll tell them before. You and. If they're honest, they'll say, yeah, you're right. We do have our flaws, but I love her. I love him. Okay, that's a great start.
Great start.
But you got to realize, if
it takes God.
It takes God first and foremost. And even with the Lord, there's still going to be arguments. There's still going to be disagreements. You're going to have financial strains. You're going to have, when you start having a family and raising kids, it's not that the kids come in between you guys, but there's another human being in the house, or two or three was our case. And their extracurricular activities, their school activities, their sports, whatever they're involved in.
You're going to be busy.
You're going to be busy. And that's, I tried to stay active in my boys younger, because at the time I was working a third shift job, and I'd been at a place for 20 years before where I work now. But in the factory, I was on second shift, and I had an opportunity to either stay on second shift or go to third shift. Well, when my kids started playing, little league baseball and stuff, their games were in the evenings, and I'm not knocking anybody that works second shift, because it takes all three shifts to make this world function.
Right.
Truck drivers and all-nighters, and our first responders and everything. I'm grateful for that. But if you have an opportunity to be active in your kids' lives, to be there, to be
right
in attendance at a ball game, or to help coach, and that's what I did. I was like, well, I'm going to go to third shift so I can be there, so I can help coach, so I can be at those evening games. Because second shift, man, it takes up. You think about it. You're at home or doing whatever at home while your kids are at school, and then before they even get home from school, you have to be at work.
Right.
And by the time you get home from work, they're already fast asleep in the bed. And the only time you ever get to see them's on your off days.
Right. And then you're so wore out or trying to catch up. You
miss dinner. You miss eating dinner with your family at night in the evenings.
Which I think is very important too.
Yeah.
At least have one meal with your family, at least one.
But that's why I worked third shift. Everybody asked me, why did you work third shift? And I said, well, because I wanted to be at home in the evenings with my families and be able to help coach my boys in Little League baseball and stuff. And
now your boys played on the same team, didn't they?
No, Braden, our oldest, he's 3.5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Grant, 4 years older than Grant.
So you had time in between then.
Yeah, but I got to coach Braden in baseball and Little League football, and the same thing with Grant.
Yeah. With our three,
with Carly wasn't, of course she wasn't involved she didn't never take up sports. She tried softball one year. I tried to coach her in softball, and she stuck it out one year in Little League softball, and she didn't like it. And then she did play tennis a few years for the high school here. She's not playing now,
but now her modeling is taking off, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she's kind of quit that. That was like an extracurricular, something like a hobby.
Right.
Something she liked.
I think Rachel liked that too, though.
She did, and she actually,
because that would be like a bonding for them, because that was.
And they do. She did these little pageants and stuff when she was younger, and hadn't done one in a long time. But one that we always like doing, and I encouraged her to do it, is because it was for a local charity, local schools down in Whitley County. Down at Pleasant View, they do this thing about every year. It's almost like a Toys for Tots thing. You can bring in gifts and toys, and it helps underprivileged families and to provide Christmas gifts for their kids. And so Carly was really involved in that. And then up until a few years ago, and she'd kind of quit doing the pageants because I guess she kind of thought she'd outgrew them and everything.
Right.
But just last weekend, she did another one just for that event.
Oh, yeah.
Like doing that. And then, when we were in church together at Restoration, she was involved in that and taking up blankets and stuff for local nursing homes and shut-ins and everything. So being a pageant dad was never really my thing.
Right.
But if you've got a little girl that gets involved in that stuff, or even dance, they do dance, and they do these dance recitals. You talk about melting a daddy's heart.
Oh, yeah.
Little girls up there on stage dancing, and they're playing that melancholy music,
right?
That stuff. It
melts you.
Yeah, it tugs at those old heartstrings.
Yeah. So that's cool. She did a lot of good with it. I thought she was gonna pursue it and go on.
No, she she made Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
She was on a few billboards.
Billboards up there. That's what I remember.
During Thanksgiving,
Right.
and New Year. So it's
And she won some kind of young.
super. I don't know. Rachel will be able to tell you. It's Super Models Unlimited or something. And you know, when I say models, you automatically think, and you talk about pageants, you think Miss Kentucky and where they come out there in their gowns, and then there's a swimsuit thing. Carla's never been involved in anything as far as doing swimsuits or anything like that. It's always the gowns and then modeling for clothes. And we went to Knoxville a couple of times, and she modeled for
it was more on the tasteful side of modeling.
What's that?
Aeropostale?
Aeropostale.
Yeah, she modeled for them down there and did a little thing down there at one of those malls around Knoxville.
Right.
A couple of times. So.
Well, it sounds like she was getting pretty recognized.
She was.
Yeah, she was. But she just, like I said, it was more of a hobby thing than.
Now she's into boys, right? She got a boyfriend?
She's got a boyfriend, yeah.
Dad didn't look happy.
Got a boyfriend. But,
he's a good guy, though, because I know his parents.
Yeah. So when you think of when we were that age, we had girlfriends and things, and then you think, I think about stuff that I did at that age, and like, oh my goodness, But
But how is that? Because see, I've got nothing but boys, right. So I've raised 7 boys. And like you said, I know what's going through their mind.
Yeah.
And I always told Linda, I said, if I had a girl, I would lock her up.
Mm-hmm.
But why do I treat the boys different? Why is it different with the boys than it would be if I had a girl? Is it different with you?
Well, you think the boys are.
You hope.
For one, my daughter is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
She's the youngest, so.
Right.
The youngest boy or girl going to always be the baby.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happened that she was the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I always joke with her because when she was younger, she's just a little girl, just mean, ornery, and we always joke with her and said, if you were the first, you would have been the last. We wouldn't have no more. But thankfully, and that's not true. I mean, God had a plan for all of them.
Right.
We're grateful for him. But I think with boys, raising boys, it is a little easier because, for one, I guess you think masculinity, they can take care of themselves. And in us being dads, we know how to communicate better with them. This is what you're supposed to do. This is, crawl under here with me, grab a wrench. I'm going to show you how to take the drain plug out of the oil pan. I'm going to show you how to change oil, change your spark plugs, change a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
With a girl, it's more of you've got almost that protective sense that automatically it's
instinct.
It's fibered within you.
But now,
the father of a girl.
Now, did you and Rachel ever get into it because she wanted to baby the boys more than you did? Because I know with Linda, it was the same for me. She would baby the boys.
Yeah.
Because she did, like you said, we understand what it's like to be a boy.
Yeah.
And they don't. And they look at them as their babies. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at them as future men that,
right.
That's going to have to be in the community that a friend maybe one day, that because I'd like to have my boys come over and hang out with me.
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely tell you that's how Jessica is. My baby, she's a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and me and Jessica both wanted a little girl, and we was like that too. We was like, if we have a little girl, we're done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether she was our first or our last, we're done. And then, obviously, she was our last. But as she's grown up, Jessica is a lot harder on her than she is the boys. Yeah. And I'm harder on the boys than I am my little girl.
And I think that goes
I
probably for most
families
who have both sex
Both,
in the home,
yeah.
both boy and girl.
See, that's what I thought it would be like. I thought it
Yeah.
would kind of, because you always hear daddy's girl and mama's boy.
Yeah.
And I think that stems from something. So,
It's a stereotype that's pretty true.
right. Pretty true. And I think that's why it's so important that God made it where, husband and wife raise the family because of that dynamic.
Yeah.
Men know how to raise men. Women don't know how to raise men.
Well,
And women they know how to raise women.
Yeah.
And if I raised a little girl, I'd probably raise her into being a she-man, he-man, or man-hater,
Yeah.
So, and make her a tomboy.
Yeah.
So,
mine's pretty much tomboy, but she still likes boys.
well, they are when they're young. I think most are pretty much. Because they go through that phase, right, where dad is king, dad is the best, and then once they reach a certain age, they start gravitating back towards hanging out with mom and starting to get a little bit more. They notice boys, right?
Yeah.
Then they get curious. Mom, how do I put makeup on? That's when dads start cringing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's what I
talk
would.
about Carly, and then modeling and everything, but in all honesty, she's not afraid to go dig worms or
Right.
she'll play with bugs and stuff, but when we've not been fishing in a long time, but when we went, she'd love to fish and
Oh,
catch a fish, and some girls are like,
Yeah,
like
girly,
to catch
girly.
it, but then don't get
Yeah.
it close to them. I'm not taking it off the hook.
Yeah.
Right.
And she loved it.
Oh, yeah.
She loved
That's
to
how
play
my
on
little
hook
girl
and
is,
everything.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Mine's 9-year-old right now, and she loves to be pampered. Her and her mother have them little spa days and stuff like that. She absolutely loves it. But every time I talk about going hunting, she's like, "Am I going? You gonna take me?" I mean, she does not care to kill anything.
yeah.
I shot a turkey once, and it didn't die. She went and grabbed a stick and beat its head in. She said, "I killed
Yeah.
it for you."
But I think that's the difference of having the dad in the home too. That brings that stability to it because, when you look for a wife, right, you look for those kind of traits in a wife. One that's not so girly. At least I did growing up. I didn't like the girly ones that were in high school. I like,
I never gravitated to the girly girl ones either.
yeah,
For one, I thought, well, they're above,
yeah,
they're out of my league.
out of my
That's what we
league. Or,
say.
They're expensive.
Yeah,
yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, high maintenance is what
Yeah.
we called them. But they were, and that was one of the things. I enjoyed hunting. I enjoyed fishing, and if a girl wanted to go hunting and fishing with me, I thought that was really,
one.
yeah, she's the one.
She's got potential in it.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think, as dads, it's also important for us to show our daughters how a husband should treat his wife. And vice versa, even with our sons.
yeah.
We're going to show our sons, this is how you treat your future wife.
Yeah.
How you see me treat your mama. But you guys get into an argument. Yeah, we do get in an argument. But how do we handle that argument? I'm not physical, I'm not physically with her or anything like that.
Right.
We pray about it. There'll be quiet times to where it's like we don't talk for, a couple hours. But then at the end of the day, we don't let the sun go down on our anger, and you pray about it, and you show that affection in front of your kids, even though they might say, "Ooh, that's gross,"
Yeah.
But you show that affection. That way, it
They
instills
understand
in them. You don't have to tell them, but they're seeing it. Hey, that's how. You know,
we
'cause I
grew-
want Carly to look at me and say, even though she's got a boyfriend, she's 17 years old.
Compare him.
I don't know where that's going to go, but I want her to say, I want my future husband to treat me like my dad
Right.
treats my mom. And I want, and I've got one of my two boys that's married, and the other one's, pretty close, thinking about getting married. But, you want them to.
Grant is.
Grant's married.
Oh, okay.
Braden's the one that's not married.
I
Grant's the
figured
one
he'd
that's
be married before Grant.
Well,
but yeah,
we
it's-
thought so, but
Yeah.
Grant and McKenna got married, and
Oh yeah.
in September.
Yeah,
I was talking
that's
about
right.
Paul doing
Yep.
the wedding, but anyway, you want them to say, You know, that's how I should treat my wife.
Right.
And I want my daughter to say that's how I want.
We grew up in a different time, though. I know I was taught, and when Linda and I first got married, kind of felt like everybody was saying you shouldn't fight in front of your kids. You know, that's the way I was taught.
Yeah.
That you shouldn't fight in front of your kids and let them see that.
Right.
But you know, as I started studying the Bible and coming more, I realized I do fight in front of my kids. So they can see that marriage is not perfect.
Right.
It's going to take work, and they learn how to resolve it because we have to resolve the fight. That's biblical.
Yeah.
So I have to figure out a way to resolve it. And they'll either see her apologize, or they'll see me apologize, or they'll see us come to an agreement and compromise.
Right.
But they have to understand that fights are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because we didn't with, you know, I'm raising the grandkids now, but we didn't with their dads. And I see from their lives and the mistakes they make, you know, divorce, the moment they get a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over. We're done. And I'm like, I'm not making that mistake with these grandkids.
Right.
So they got to understand that it's not easy. You are going to fight. But you have to, if you're, you know, biblically inclined, you have to resolve it. You're going to have to, regardless.
Yeah.
You make commitment, you need to work through it.
And that's, you know, exactly. It goes back to talking about counseling, premarital counsel.
Right.
Tell those couples that, you know,
Yep.
it's not easy. There's going to be disagreements, you know. He's going to want to buy a new shotgun to where your electric bill is due. And if he buys that gun, then, you know, you faced with potentially having your electric cut off, you know. And
Sounds like
or
experience.
or something vice versa, you know.
Right.
Mama wants a new car or new purse or new shoes. And let me tell you something. When those start coming in,
Oh, yeah.
that adds up.
Oh, yeah. Finance, and I preached on that today. It's when you come into a marriage, you know, it's Luke 9:23 for the marriage. You know, any man that wants to come to me needs to deny yourself, pick up your cross daily, and follow me.
Yeah.
So, same in marriage. We have to deny ourselves, and we have to pick up our cross and walk with our wife daily.
Well, I was saying something very similar to this the other day to my older boy. He's been on wanting to be treated more as an adult and stuff here lately.
Oh, those are fun conversations.
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's 15. He turned 16 in January.
No, I'm okay.
But
No, I'm good. Thank you.
but he's been on this kick, you know, wanting to be treated more as an adult. He calls it me time.
Yeah.
He said you don't give me enough me time. I'm like, what are you talking about, me time? I'm like, you're one. And I said, you're the kid in this house.
Yeah.
Me time is not a thing. I said, you can have me time when you start getting responsibilities, or you come up to me and you say, hey, I want to take on some responsibilities or something in that nature.
Yeah.
Then you can start having some me time. I said, but buddy, I said, you don't realize the stuff that me and your mother put in front of us for you kids.
Yeah.
I said, all the time, I said, we are always last. You kids are first.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you just don't say that because you just don't care.
Right.
I said, but if you'd start paying attention and see all the stuff that we give up to make you happy, then I said, then I could say you're probably growing up and you can have some me time.
Yeah. I'd say most kids don't see that.
Yeah.
You know, we sacrifice as parents, and I think we should.
Right.
Now we're not too. I wouldn't say go and work 80, 90 hours a week just so your child can have the.
I did that.
$50,000 vehicle. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're doing that, I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying we could.
Well, I learned my lesson. The time is worth
more than
the money and what I was able to give them.
Yeah.
I lost out on what I could teach them more than what I could handle.
Yeah.
And I lost sight of that. So.
And you know, we work hard for our families. You know, to help pay the bills and.
Oh yeah.
And to be able to put clothes on their back and food on the table and everything, and even for their extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
And their cars, we help purchase their vehicles, but we told them, hey, you're old enough to drive, you're old enough to do a part-time job to get that gas money,
Right.
to go out to earn that gas money. And then, our oldest, he just turned 26 this past summer.
Oh, wow.
He dropped off our insurance, and which he'd been paying his own car insurance, but he was still on ours, and he would
Right.
he
Cheaper.
would pay us
Yeah.
monthly. Well, now it's like you got to go get your own. He dropped off my health insurance, turning 26. He's off that, so which he's got, he works for the state transportation department.
Mm-hmm.
Lives out in Bowling Green. He's civil engineer, very proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of these guys that designs roads and bridges and stuff. So
Oh, wow.
I often, he's my son, so I think about him all the time. But
Right.
when you're in Corbin and
And
we're
you see
dealing
all
with
this
traffic
stuff,
and the orange barrels and the cones, I'm thinking, this is some of your fault. You're
Right.
probably doing it to the same people, the people over in Bowling Green.
Right.
But you appreciate people like that. It's a job. They have to do it, and
That's a good job for him, though.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So he went into civil engineering. Grant is. You didn't ask me, but I'll go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
He works for a heating and air contractor out of Lexington. He's got his own van. They bought him a house in Berea.
Wow.
So he's.
I saw
very well.
him doing some remodeling, cleaning up the house that he got. He's very proud
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, he's
He's
did a
starting to
little
be on
thing.
TikTok now,
he
yeah.
did a little TikTok
Yeah.
thing of
I think I
The house-
followed him on TikTok.
the
but-
house they built. It had popcorn ceilings in it, and he didn't
Yeah.
like it, and he was showing how
Showing
to scrape it off and stuff. And,
Yeah.
Which I told him, I said, it's going to be easy coming off there, but the one
Mm-hmm.
going back with the flat ceilings, you're going to see every
Mm-hmm.
drywall joint. You're going to have to mud it, tape it, mud it, sand it, paint it, and you might have to do it 2 or 3 times before
Right.
can't.
And you're still going to be able to see it.
Yeah,
You can't get rid of that.
several people tried to talk him out of just
Mm-hmm.
live with the popcorn ceiling, just leave it up there. No, that's out of date.
Yeah.
But he's very, very independent
Mm-hmm.
person, and my daughter-in-law, she's a sweet girl, and she's a dental hygienist up there in Richmond.
Yeah.
And like I said, Carly, she's a senior. She's going into that beauty stuff, cosmetology, hair,
Right.
stuff like that. So her plans are go to Somerset Community
Right.
next year and get a whatever that's called, a degree or whatever in that. So, but anyway, I think it's important for us as dads. We let them see the arguments, the disagreements.
Right.
Now, when I say arguments, when I was a kid, and a stepdad arguing with a mom was totally different than a
Right, the
financial
arguments,
disagreement
right,
or anything
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'm
that
not
was
talking.
abuse. That was abuse.
Yeah, I'm not talking.
Yeah.
The knockdown dragouts and stuff like that. Those one shouldn't be having.
Right.
As a biblical family, if she drives you that much to anger, then you need to go to your prayer closet.
Yeah, exactly.
And same with her. She should need to go to the prayer closet.
And I think that's the relationship my wife and I have is we know when
that point's
yeah,
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the rubber meets the road and we know that it's getting ready to be something, then we take that time to call a timeout. We go to our prayer closets. We take time away from each other, and it always God always works it out.
Oh yeah,
He always works it out, and it's not something that I've done or she's done, but it's that the Lord's done it. He's always worked it out.
It's the grace and the joy, the peace that He puts in you, the conviction He puts in you. Because most of the time, when I'm to that point, she could say anything. It ain't going to fix nothing at that point when I'm that mad.
Right.
So we could sit and go back and forth, and all that's going to happen is we're going to hurt each other.
Yeah.
And hurt the kids watching.
Right.
So at that point, they see me say, all right, I'm going to go pray, and you need to go pray about it. And they see that as a resolve, though.
Yeah.
And then they can tell a huge difference. It may be a couple of hours, before we can come back and be in the same room with each other. But they'll know that, that's where we go is to pray for it. and work through it because my dad was very abusive, and those type of fights happen in front of me all the time. And they didn't accomplish anything, so except make me scared of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those situations, they just make matters worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's why growing up, I tried drinking. I've smoked pot before. I never did anything else. The pot is as far as it went with me. That gave me a headache. I'm thankful that I never had an addiction to it or anything like that. And same with alcohol. But I always, and looking back on it now and being a mature Christian, it was the Holy Spirit convicting me. Because when I would do it, I thought, well, I'm only doing it because I'm at a party with friends and I want to fit in and I want to do this and that.
Back to that peer pressure.
But then, yeah, exactly. But then when in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what this caused for your family. You know, why? Just because you want to impress somebody, just because you want to impress this girl, or you want this guy to like you, and so you guys can hang out and all this other stuff. And it's like, and so that's why I am now the way I am. I am who I am. Take me as I am. Like me, love me, hate me. You know, we're all different.
And we are. I think that's why God. It goes to what I was saying this morning at church is. The storms we go through in life is who we are, right? And whether you're Christian or non-Christian, you're going to go through a storm. It rains on the just and unjust alike, and people are going to get blessed, and they're going to go through a storm. And the one thing I've learned in the 52 years is storms are going to come.
They're also going to pass.
And they're going to pass.
Yeah.
And they're going to come again.
Yeah.
And they're going to pass again.
That's what we was talking about this morning in church. You're either getting out of a storm, you're in a storm, or you're getting ready
to go into one.
I mean, it's just life.
And the only thing that separates us from non-believers is the fact that Jesus is going to be with us in those storms.
Yeah.
And it's the fruit that we bear.
Right.
I mean, because there is no difference between us and Satan. We're all born inherently evil. Our hearts are wicked and deceitful above all things. And the only thing that separates us from being like Satan is the fruit we bear.
Right.
Because he believes, he don't just believe, he knows God's real.
Yeah.
He knows Jesus is real. He knows every word in the text, in the scripture. He used it against Jesus. There's plenty of people that have all that up here. The only difference is we got to plant it in here.
Yeah.
To where it can grow fruit. That's the only difference, and that's how we get our faith. So the different storms that we walk through in life and the way God brings everybody together from different past, and then some people have similar past, and it brings them together and you mentor. Our whole job is to go preach and teach, Matthew 28, make disciples of all the nation.
Go into all the world,
So, and to be a disciple, Jesus said, unless you are follow me, right? Pick up your cross and follow me. You can't be a disciple. So, and that's what we're supposed to do is make disciples of everybody, which is teaching us how to deny ourselves.
Right.
And that comes through everything. So, like you didn't do much alcohol and stuff, but I fell in love with alcohol. My dad was an alcoholic, and I ended up becoming just like my dad. Even though I tried not to.
Right.
But I let it build that anger and hate in me so much that it turned me to him. And it was when I was in the military and I was shaving and looking in the mirror, hungover, that I saw my dad in the mirror, and that made me even madder.
Yeah. See, that's why I've always asked myself that too. Is like, well, why didn't I take that path? Well, because you saw the opposite, and then my brothers as well. Some of them, both of them experimented with things and served time in federal prison for things. And family would say, why were you the black sheep? They'd say, why were you the black sheep of the family? You didn't go down that path. And I don't know.
Was you the baby of the family?
No, I'm the oldest.
Right.
Oh,
the oldest.
So
So
that's definitely odd.
Yeah.
But I guess where I got to spend time with my dad during the summers growing up, and I
Right.
wasn't around it then. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't make excuses, but for whatever reason, and it doesn't make me better than anybody else. It doesn't make me better than you just because you
Right.
know, struggled with it, because we've all got our own
Oh yeah.
struggles and everything in life.
So I'm very similar to. I'm the baby of my family though, but I've had a lot of people ask me why didn't I
Go down that path.
go down that path like the rest of my family, and I've never asked myself that because I've always felt like I've known as where I was the youngest. I've got to watch.
Yeah, what
I've
it
got to
does.
watch every road everybody took, and I got to see where they ended up. And I'm like, well, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Right.
So I said, this is a road untraveled. I said,
Yeah.
let's see where it takes me.
Yeah. So that was the same with me, I guess, where I got to spend time with my dad, and then being around people like Ronnie Smith and those friends at church. You know, I thought, there's a better way. I'm going to find it, and, you know, I'm going to live my own life, but that's not going to define me.
Right.
And this was when I was 11, 12 years old.
Right.
Well, then you fast forward to when going through high school and that peer pressure, you're at a party, like pop the top on a cold one. I'll drink one. No one good. For whatever reason, I never liked the taste of it, but I thought it wasn't like I was drinking it and spitting it out or
Right.
pouring it out. So I drank it, but it was like, really? And then my hangover was conviction. It wasn't puking
Right.
my guts out and everything like that with a headache. Now, if I smoked a joint or took a draw or two off of a joint, I had a headache. My hangover was conviction. Why did guilt? Why did I do that? Knowing better, knowing what it could lead to, and what it has led to in my family, and seeing that. You know, my stepdad, like I said, in 2001, he got messed up on OxyContin, and he threatened my mom and my half brother, his own son, with a shotgun. And at the time, my brother's girlfriend, she was pregnant with my nephew at the time, and down in Canada town. And he shot up the house and went outside and shot up my brother's fiance's car, and he had a 9mm and it was loaded. And he told my brother, he said, ain't nobody leaving here alive tonight. You know, he's just messed up. He wasn't in his right frame of mind. Threw the pistol in the bedroom, and my brother, begged him, said, please, Dad, let me take Mom and Jamie, let us get out of here, and you can do whatever you want to do. And he's like, no, nobody's leaving here alive tonight. And you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to kill me. And he's like, I'm not shooting you. Just please let us leave. And, this was a story I was told. I wasn't there. But he threw the 9mm in the bedroom, and after so many arguments with him, my brother went in there to get it, and while he was in there, he shot through the wall, trying to hit him with it. And this is what my mom says. And fortunately, he didn't hit him. And he comes back out, and he goes outside, and he loads a 12-gauge shotgun and shoots up in the air and keeps reloading, shoots the car, comes in there and reloads it in front of him. And my mom and my brother's girlfriend sitting on the couch, and my brother sitting over here, and he's there with the 12-gauge with his hand on his finger on the trigger, aiming it at my mom, getting ready to pull it. And that's when he unloaded the 9mm in him. And, he killed him. It was self-defense. My stepdad had a reputation in the Whitley County jail system for being in and out with DUIs and possession. And I don't know the legal term for selling drugs, but
Right.
he just had a bad reputation, and it was a very dark time in my life. And at the time, I was a brand new Christian. Braden was just 3 years old. He was our only child.
Right.
And they asked me to sing at the funeral. And at the time, like I said, I was a brand new Christian.
Right.
Wasn't even a deacon in church or anything. And so I sang, and you can imagine half of my stepdad's family blamed my family, blamed my mom.
Right.
And then the other half knew how he was, and they were supportive of us. But, man, my stomach was in knots. I've never felt that way since then. I was a nervous wreck at the funeral home down there, singing. And then you know how at the end of a funeral, most of the time, traditionally, those who officiate will go up and stand at the head of the casket for the final viewing. For those who's at the funeral for the final viewing, they'll either come by and shake your hand or right. I stood there, and some of them shook the hand, gave me a pat on the back, good job. Others gave me
just
the look
walked
of
right
death,
past.
or wouldn't even look at me, wouldn't acknowledge me. And at the time, I was only like 27, 28 years old when this happened. So it was a very, very difficult thing to go through, but I'm just thankful that, I didn't go down that path as far as getting addicted.
Right.
Or, I don't even socially drink. Some people will have a beer, a glass of wine, or champagne or something with their meal. And I'm not saying there's anything, wrong with that.
Right. It's the
you can drink, you
intentions
just
in your
can't, I think you're not supposed to get drunk.
Right.
Is the thing. But I don't even do that.
Stay sober-minded.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't knock anybody that does that. Doesn't make me a better person than somebody else.
Paul told Timothy to drink wine to settle his stomach,
Right.
But you can't be a wino, it's woven to the wino. So it's.
Oh, man, even, last night at that wedding, I hung around. Me and my wife went. I drank a few glasses of wine. But as soon as I felt like my mind might start, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I even had still half a cup, or I just slid it aside. I said, I'm done.
Now, see, that's good. That's the way you're supposed to. If you're going to do that, that's the way it's supposed to be done. It's, you know your limit.
Yeah.
Because it gets us, like I was just talking about my stepdad and how he lost his life. He wasn't in his right frame of mind. And whether it's alcohol or drugs or some kind of substance abuse or, foreign substance that we're taking that puts us out of our right frame of mind, we do things we're not supposed to do. You know, who in their right frame of mind is going to be shooting up their own house and threatening their own family?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody in the right state of mind.
Right. Exactly.
Now, for me, it's I just stay away from it because I'm an alcoholic.
You know your temptation and you stay away from it.
Because I know that's what the devil would use to get a hold on me again. So, and the addiction spirits runs through my family really, really hard. So,
Mine too.
So I got to be very, very careful about even messing with any of the stuff.
Does the smell or anything bother you? Like if you walk by somebody you know they'd been drinking, you smell it on their breath. Does it
doesn't.
Does it give you a craving or a desire to?
I can tell you the hardest part for me as a recovering alcoholic, right, is grilling.
Yeah.
Is what?
Grilling food. Grilling a steak or a burger because I'm so used to having that ice cold beer.
Drink. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right there while I was sitting there with
I was trying to think
grill.
how would a grill.
Well, because it's that association, you know what I mean? It's just
Dad's grilling burgers or steaks and
everybody just sitting around having a few laughs and drinking
a cold one or something.
Yeah, that was the hardest part about it.
You overcome that. You able to grill?
Yeah, I overcome it
because I can imagine you could probably fix a mean steak or something.
Oh yeah,
grill.
Yeah,
without having to drink a beer.
Oh yeah. I am a pretty good cook, so. Yeah, I've overcame all that the temptations of walking through all that stuff.
But when you're talking about the form of addiction though too, you think something as simple as a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Look how addicted people are on pop.
Yeah,
something.
And coffee.
Well, the pop is something everybody associates as the most innocent thing.
Yeah.
But it is yet one of the most addictive things.
Mm-hmm.
And
sugar. Yeah, it's sugar in general.
Sugar and stuff in it, and the carbonation and all that. I've heard all kinds of excuses, but And even that alone, it is hard to break.
That's an addiction though that doesn't affect your thought
No,
process.
no, it doesn't affect your thought
But
process.
we feed those addictions the sugar.
But if you're thinking of it as you're supposed to be in control of your body,
exactly
right?
You know, it's a temple.
It's
We're
your
supposed to take
temple,
care of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you can't even get your mind wrapped around, I can quit that pop. I can throw it away. If you can't even fight that,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the denying yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's Luke 9:23. And I'd mentioned that this morning. I used the reference of is you think about every one of us had blood work. Everyone, and a lot of us have had surgery of some kind. But blood work mainly, you have to have a fast before you do the blood work. You have to fast and then go get the blood work without eating or drinking anything. And the moment that fast time comes, that's the moment you get hungry.
oh yeah,
That's the moment everything gets tempting, and then you try to get that blood work done first thing in the morning so you could get something to eat.
I've fasted quite a bit the past couple of months, and that's
It's
rough.
hard.
It's hard.
Denying yourself, and it's learning how to tell yourself no. It's not just the Greek word means for denying means to have no association with. That's what the Greek word for deny means. Have no association with. So when Jesus says deny yourself, that means don't even associate with yourself. You're mine. You're me.
Well, even on fasting though, too, people just don't realize. I mean, yeah, fasting is related to a biblical sense, but once you get so deep into the fast, the health benefits that it does for you too.
Well, that's
people-
the whole thing. Why do we fast for blood work? See, this is going to be key to unlock your whole spiritual thinking. Why do you fast for blood work?
Because when you fast, your body goes into what a lot of people call ketosis and stuff, which just rushes your body full of good blood cells and all kinds of stuff.
And if you ate anything or drank anything, it would contaminate
Yep, it would contaminate it.
your test results.
That's you eat one carb, one calorie, anything during that fast, you just ruined it.
And that's what God does with us when we move from season to season. He puts us in a season of fasting or, change, cutting stuff out of our life, right? Because when you follow Christ, you're going to inevitably leave things behind and get further away from things that you shouldn't be around. And that's just to prepare you for the test that's coming.
It's like a cleansing.
Yep.
Fasting's like a cleansing.
Talking about fasting and stuff, and I just said earlier, I'm getting new into all this stuff, and I really am loving it. But 2 years ago, I tried fasting and stuff. Also, I was like, let's see what I can do for myself.
But you were doing that for weight loss and stuff. Right?
Yeah, I was doing it for weight loss, which, I mean, again, I'm still doing it for weight loss too. I want.
But like I said, it's
I want to get my
teaching you
body
how to say
healthier.
no to yourself.
Exactly,
Yep.
but I've took it mentally. I've took it this time so much more further. Ronnie has personally taught me so much. It's unbelievable the stuff I've been learning, and I love it. There's no other way to say it, but I love it.
Good.
But 2 years ago when I tried this, I had a goal. I could not meet that goal. Could not. And I was doing everything I knew that I could do and stuff, but I tried fasting. I couldn't even fast then. I couldn't tell myself no then. This go around, I've had the same goal. I've passed that goal. This is the skinniest I've been in 10 years.
Now, how new are you to Christianity, to giving your life to
I mean,
the
it's
Lord?
always
Say
been
new,
it's always been in my life, right?
but you've drawn closer to Him more
recently than I ever have.
So I would say the Holy Spirit's been the difference this time,
Yeah,
rather than a couple
that's
years
kind of
ago.
what I was leading to. You
Yeah.
know, the stuff I've learned and the passion that I've been trying to put into it this go around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say Christianity and stuff. There was no last time. This is the first time that I've done this.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, the last time was solely for myself,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Right. You didn't have the Holy Spirit. You didn't have
No.
the Lord, quote unquote, on your side then.
No.
Because now you're fasting for the right reasons. He knows your heart's true. and your mindset's true, and so, and I think too, and Ronnie can tell you this, anybody can tell you this, the more we deny ourselves of something, the more we do that, the easier it gets. Just like anything else, you take on a new job, if it's new to you, well, you're going to have to learn it, and the more you learn it, the easier it gets. Same goes for fasting. The more we do it, the easier it gets. But if we're doing it 2 years ago, before the Holy Spirit, before rededicating your life and taking Jesus serious, you know, then it's impossible to do things on our own.
Right. Oh yeah.
It really is. I mean, without that that guidance and support, it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, it does. So we got about 40 minutes left. So I want to go back to the question you was talking about before the show started.
Oh well, yeah, and that, I mean, even after you said what you said, it's still a major controversy for me. Is getting paid to preach. You know, I don't know. I just
So
I don't think it's right.
What's your big hang up on that? What's the opposition side of that?
And it's solely just my opinion, you know, because I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys, but my opinion has always stayed the same my whole life when it comes to this topic. Is you wouldn't. You're put on here to witness. You're put here to witness and to spread the word and stuff. And if everybody I've ever met that actually makes a big dollar to preach is doing it solely for themselves.
Well, I've never met anybody that gets paid. I've never met anybody that gets paid a lot to preach. Now, I can't speak for, like, you know, I don't know. You go to Emmanuel, right? So I think their pastor gets paid, but I don't know the salary they get paid. I know Creek gets paid. Central Baptist pastor gets paid locally.
Yeah.
Restoration, Ronnie don't get, if he gets paid, it's very little. And I think he don't really get paid there either. I think it's mainly, if he did, it would be for the principal of the school that he, or schoolwork or whatever he did. I'm not sure. I'm not involved in the finances there. But for my church, right, we're a micro church. I pay to preach.
Yeah.
You know, I tithe my tithes, and I don't get nothing, no pay at all. And so, you know, and I'm just trying to keep the lights on.
Right.
In the building. So when we collect a offering and tithe, because, you know, it stemmed from the video, and we can show the video here in a little bit, the stereotypes of church, you know, where Larry's playing Conspiracy Jim, talking about they're always passing an offering plate, you know, what are they doing with the offering and stuff. And we are always passing an offering plate. But
Which is, in some cases, in my opinion, again, is a good question.
right,
Where does
the money go? So
Where does it go?
That for us, right, it goes for the light bill, the water bill, you know, paying the payment on the building.
But every bit of that is stuff that you can see. You know, if somebody would just open their eyes.
Right.
I mean, and I'll use you as an example. You know, you're not out here driving some, you know, brand new Cadillac or this or that. You know, you. Everybody knows what you drive. You know, you have trouble with your vehicles and stuff, just like everybody else does.
Right, but but should it be that way? So this is my question. This is what I'm going to allude to here in a minute, right? So that's just the stuff you can see. That's normal bills, right? So, and that's in my micro church. We still have to pay for internet because we stream, right? We still have to have audio equipment, video equipment because we stream.
But everything's going into the church.
Everything's going into the church, but I mean, we do have a savings. You know, we don't spend every bit of it, but some of it goes to outreach. Some of it will go to youth programs. You know,
Again,
VBS once a year, we get to buy food and
But
banners
again,
and stuff like that.
Every bit of that is still within the church.
Right, but now the church could still pay, right? Like I know for a fact Emmanuel pays its worship team, at least some of the members of the worship team, and I know that, you know, like the Creek pays their worship team. I would love to be able to pay musicians, and a pastor. Not necessarily me. Doesn't have to be, but I would say as the church gets bigger, right? So we go in. Linda goes and cleans once a week. Sometimes I go help her clean the church because we're a micro church. We have maybe 15, 20 people at best come to a church service, if that. Today we had 13. Rain kills our
Yeah.
when it rains, they're like, oh, any excuse, we're not going. But so we have to do everything. I got to preach, I got to teach. We open up the service. I got to run the sound. I got to run the video equipment. I've got to, make sure the streams are set up. I got to keep the computers going. I got to, make sure the toilets are flushing. I'm the maintenance guy. I got to change the light bulbs. I got to do all this, and I'm not getting paid. So, and then they want, as we grow, they want programs. They want Sunday school. Mm-hmm. They want, children's church. So they want Wednesday night service. They want a Sunday night service. We've grown and we've done these things. But guess who does all that? Me.
Yeah.
They want my dad or my husband, my wife is in the hospital. Want you to come pray for them before surgery. Guess who does that? Me. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that's got to go visit. Can you come visit my, elderly grandmother? She watches you on the internet and she wants you to come pray for her. Guess who does the house visits? Me. Right? So when you're saying that they shouldn't get paid, if they are full-time and they're planning all the ministry and they're, planning the sermons and really involved over what the kids are learning, like in the youth group, and they're planning over, because I'm very picky about what we teach our kids. I don't let just anybody come in and say, oh, we're going to do a class today. Well, let me see your class.
Right.
I want to make sure what you're teaching the kids is biblical. So if I'm planning all of this stuff, you're telling me it's not worth getting paid? And then if the church is on average, let's just say the average for easy math of the salary for everybody in there is $50,000 a year, and I'm doing it full time, shouldn't I be living the same as them?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think you should.
As I'm serving them.
Yeah, putting it in that terms, but
that's what Paul was saying when he was writing the letter to Timothy.
Well, I talked to
and setting it out that this is that they need to take care of the one that is bringing the word to them, because if he's putting the time in and putting the effort in to make sure that you're getting taught Scripture and being discipled and mentored the right way as a full-time job, because Paul didn't have a full-time job, this was it. And but he was happy either way. I'm happy either way. I don't see anything wrong with living the same as the parishioners in the church.
I talked to this one guy.
But now, asking me if I need to be driving a private jet while people are hungry in my church,
yeah,
no, that's a little different.
Get a $2-3 million mansion, private jets, all this and that,
right?
And then you confront them about it, and they're like, "Well, this is what God intended for me."
Yeah, no, you're talking a different religion.
Yeah.
You're talking prosperity church, prosperity,
But I personally got to talk to this one guy. The church was paying him $50,000 a year. The church bought him a brand new Jeep, paid all of his college debt off and stuff. I mean, done him really nice. Okay. Well, this was outside of church. I was like, well, we're outside church. I'm going to try to get personal with this guy and, test the waters here. I like to push people and see what all information I can get out of them. I asked him a simple question. I said, so, your church has done you very well. I said, do you pay your tithes to them? He said, no. He said, me preaching is paying my tithes.
Now that I
disagree
I said, in what world is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, you still got to pay your your dues to them. That's the reason why I say, even if the church even did a love offering for me, which they've done a love offering for me once for like $200, but I'm paying to preach regardless, because my tithes are going to come out regardless, and go to the church. Because if I didn't, we probably wouldn't have church, because a lot of times it's just my family that shows up sometimes. And we're the only offering it gets. So I make sure it's consistent every week, so that way at least the bills are paid, so that we have a place to worship. But I don't agree with not paying. But now there is theology debate on whether tithe is mandatory or not. Now, I don't necessarily think tithing is mandatory. Some churches do. I don't think it's is required as the 10%. It's good to pay your first fruits. I agree. But I don't think it's a requirement. But I'm
supposed to give from the heart, from
right.
what you can give.
Yeah.
Because that's what I told my wife. We was talking about financial struggles and stuff, and she takes care of our bills and everything, which that probably is something I need to be more involved in, as far as, because something ever happened to her. How do we pay this bill? Because she's doing everything online and everything.
Right.
But I would always ask her, did you pay our tithes? Well, I didn't pay our tithes. Rachel, please. Well, we had this
right.
bill was due.
Other stuff takes priority.
Yeah, and I said, number one, pay our tithes. That's just me personally, my personal conviction. Pay our tithes. Because your tithes is, and biblically it does say 10%.
First. Yep.
First. And then offerings is above that more, So if you give 10%, so you make $1,000 a week, you give $100 in the offering plate, but then you want to give 120 or 150, then that 20 or 50 or that extra would be that. When you hear people saying tithes and offerings, offerings is going that extra mile. But talking about this subject, I think in Scripture it tells us to give of what we can give, and it's a personal thing. We're not required. Jericho's not required to give the same thing as somebody that's making $100,000 a year. You might make $100,000 a year. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right.
But I'm just saying we're not required. I can't equal somebody that makes $100,000 a year. I can't equal their tithes with mine. It's of what we can give, and it's our personal conviction. And taking up that cross daily.
Well, and when you make it mandatory, like some churches do, and I do know some church. I'm not going to call the church out specifically, but I know one, and it's famous online, right? I'll just say that it's a famous big online church with multiple campuses. To be a member there at that church, you have to sign for them to take a direct draw out of your account for X amount every week to be a member.
Wow.
It's a required tithing of your income. So there's churches that do that to become a member there. And in order to be a member, and most bylaws of the church are is to be a member, to be, that's the only ones that get to vote.
Yeah.
That's the only ones that get to participate in a lot of different events and stuff.
So, but is that right?
Is it right? Again, we're going to come down to they can run their church how they want to run their church, but is it for me personally convicted for my church? No. No. Now, we do have, before you can vote at our church, you need to be a member. And I do have a bylaw that before you can become a member, you need to at least attend 75% of your time to the church for 6 months before you can become a member. Which is not hard because we only have one service a week.
Yeah.
So, you show up 3 Sundays a month and you're there for 6 months, if you decide to become a member. The only reason I do that is because I don't lessons learned, right? Normally when somebody's like, hey, I want to join, I know right now I want to join, we just got saved, I want to join. And then 3 Sundays from now, they're back out, but yet they put a big movement in to vote in something crazy, and we're stuck with it. So
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we have those rules in, is just for that. But we don't have a whole lot of like bylaws in ours. But I do know, and it's an online with multiple campuses church, big church that everybody knows. That's what they require. And even to do and what they call an e-family, to host an e-family, you have to make sure that you.
What's an e-family?
They have what they call digital online churches, so you can log into their services through your, I can't remember what they call it, for having church in your home.
Yeah.
And watching it online. And you're the home pastor, and you're collecting the offering from the people there and then sending it up to the church. So I know that there's an agreement for that. So the reason I know that is because at one time I was wanting to join there and even move, to the Carolinas to become a part of the church.
Well, good thing you didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then we wouldn't be who we are and where we are today.
Well, I was wanting to go be a part of their media team because they have a huge media team, and they pay pretty good. Yeah.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Right. I know their media director makes like $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they do a lot though. They've got YouTube channels, multiple YouTube channels, multiple streaming platforms and stuff. So coming into, should you get paid to do God's work? Why should I get paid to go out here and do the devil's work and not get paid to do God's work, right? I used to get paid to
pay the bills.
Yeah, I used to go and make a living playing music in the bars. And, I'd spend time learning the songs. I'd spend time working on the songs and practice. We'd put so much time into practice. If I did the same for God and learned the gospel songs and the worship songs, why would it? If that's my way of making a living,
yeah.
Why would it be wrong for me to make a living from church? And then people get all scoffed at it. I'd charge $1,500 for one night to go play, and people would get mad if I charged $100 to show up and play on worship.
Yeah.
On Sunday. And most of these big churches have 3 services and require you to come in on a Wednesday. So that's 4 services over 4.5, 5 hours of playtime for $100. If that. I know Randy, he makes like $50 a week at Creek. When he plays, he don't get to play because there's too many guitar players.
I don't know the financial things as far as who gets paid what at Emmanuel. I know I'm on the worship team. I just sing maybe once every other week, or like last week I sang.
I started to ask you.
I don't get paid anything. Yeah. And when people ask me to go evangelize at other churches to come and, I've been over to Leslie County and stuff, they'll take up a love offering,
right?
And give it to, and I immediately tell them I didn't come for that.
Right.
I don't want that. And then they'll say, but please, this is our blessing to you. Don't take our blessing.
That's the
and
hardest
there's been times
thing
that I've
to
just
learn.
snuck it back in their offering plate.
Yeah.
And then there's been times that I've kept it.
Yeah.
But, and it's. And
the hardest part, though, because you're like I am, we're a lot alike on that aspect. We're so used to blessing others because God blessed us so much.
Yeah.
It's hard to let God bless us.
Yeah. Somebody, the church that Rachel and I grew up in, where I was ordained as a deacon at Park Hill here locally, there's been many times that I'll go and when the preacher, because he lives over in Middlesboro, he's made the drive for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't do it for money, I can promise you that.
Right.
And they're like your church on a good Sunday morning, 20, 25 people, Easter,
Right.
40, 50
Yeah.
maybe. So you're not doing it for money. But they would ask me, hey, Brother Jack's not going to be here. Or he would specifically.
Right.
He'd message me or call me. Hey, I'm going to be out next weekend. Can you fill in for me? Yeah, I'll do it. And, I'll study up and get a message prepared, and I'll go. And then they tried to give me something. There was a couple times I said, no. And I know them real well. And they was like, well, all right. And then they didn't. She didn't write me a check or anything. And then the last time I went, they gave it to me, and I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, this is the fourth time you've told us, no, you're taking this. And so but you don't, I get what you're saying. We're not in it for money. Now, some are.
Some are.
You
There's
see the big name national.
Right on
That's who
national
you're thinking of.
television.
Kenneth
On
Copeland.
national television, he said, God wouldn't want me flying commercial.
That's Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
That's somebody preaching the prosperity gospel, and
Yeah.
I don't.
That the only reason you're sick or broke or, in depression is because you haven't given me enough money.
Yeah, I
So-
seen who you
I think
said.
people like that needs to just be smacked in the mouth.
I seen a lady ask him one time.
Vengeance is the Lord's.
I seen a lady
That's
confront him
true.
and ask him about that, and it's like this rage came over his face
Oh, yeah.
and this evil in his eyes, and I thought, man, this, not being judgmental, but this guy ain't in it for the right.
No.
He's in it for the riches, for the
Yes.
prosperity. He wants the private jets and the mansions, and my mansion's in heaven, man.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling them today. That's what we live for. That's the promise.
Yeah,
We get
This
so
is temporary.
attached to this life,
then it's temporary,
and we pray and we ask for blessings for next week.
right?
We get so focused on, Lord, fix this life right now. This is how I know that you love me. But Jesus already told you, I go to prepare. And amen, that
Amen.
is our promise.
Yep.
That's what we're working towards, not to anything here on earth.
Yeah, because everybody's going to spend eternity somewhere, and you've only got two choices. And that's the thing. The choice is ours.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're not looking at it as a paycheck, you are getting paid, but you're not looking at it as a paycheck.
Yeah.
You're looking at it for the reason it's supposed to be looked at.
Right.
Then I guess that would be okay. But I don't know. I personally don't think I've met anybody that seems like they're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I'm looking for right here.
Did you ask this question to Ronnie when he was here
Which question?
about the
Getting paid?
getting paid?
No.
No, he was telling
Yeah,
his
it's just
testimony.
come-
We didn't get a chance to that time.
Yeah, he had so much to say. I didn't want to interrupt him. It was
Yeah, that's what I was talking about there.
Yeah, that one.
And pointing that finger at her.
Yeah,
that's the guy I was thinking of.
Yeah.
which I knew it would be.
Got angry when pressed on
Yeah,
life
he got
of
angry
luxury.
when pressed.
Life of luxury in his new private jet.
Watch his demons come out.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment. You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Goodness gracious.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
That is so
Principalities
creepy.
and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
Well, let me ask you.
Do you think that people that fly commercial are demons?
Give me a chance to talk, sweetheart. I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people. People, I love people. Jesus loves people. But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people? When somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle, it made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
So you just don't like to be around
This
the sick people
reporter
or
did
the
so
hurtful
good.
people. Is that what you're saying?
The people, baby, not the people.
Bald spots, I call you gone.
There's no way that you could justify his stuff, right? He's just
No.
so weird. So kind of outlandish there,
He's
right?
worth $760 million.
Oh yeah.
All from preaching.
Yeah. And so's his buddy, what's his name? The funny guy.
Well, and there's a female also. I can't even think her name right off. She preaches, and she's got a $2-3 million mansion and all this and that. And actually, the last I seen is this guy right here and that girl I was just talking about. The IRS was after him about a year or so ago because they couldn't explain where they got all this money.
Yeah. Well, see, that though right there gives Christians a bad name, right? And the Bible talks about don't let anybody speak ill of your good works. And this is what you and I were just talking about accepting a blessing. It's hard for us to do that because of all this junk here.
Right.
And we don't want people, but the devil will use that to keep me and you from getting what God's trying to give us.
Right.
Because it was so hard for me to learn that, there's a season where I need blessed. I've been blessing others with what God's given me. Our cups ran over, and I just give it. And when you do that, though, you're planting seeds for the future. We need to be able to accept the blessing ourselves. But see, you start feeling like this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for the money, and we try to be too,
Humble.
too much humility involved.
Yeah.
And we then get stubborn and actually reject God if we deny some of it. That's because if somebody's truly trying to bless you, right, like the church taking up a love offering because you come and bless them and took your time and come do that, and you don't know, in most micro churches, you'd be lucky to get $50-$60, right? But there are times where you could show up and it could be 10,000, right? And if you're like me, you don't even count the money most of the time. You just, pick it up, and put it in an envelope, or put it in your pocket, or put it back in the offering plate.
There's a time, I was talking about telling my wife, "Did you pay her tithes?"
Mm-hmm.
And one of those times was when she didn't. And that following week, I got, they gave me a love offering.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the Lord was like, here's your opportunity to pay your tithes.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did with it.
Right.
So, God always provides for us if we're faithful and just to serve Him and to put our faith and trust in Him, to seek Him like He tells us to, take up our cross on a daily basis.
Right.
He always provides, whether it's financial wise, whether it's being able the opportunity to serve, the opportunity to help somebody else. That's been provided to me before, to where I've done that. You see folks out there near the interstate will work for food, or down on my luck, and everything will help, hungry, stranded.
Right.
There was a time we went into Walmart, and they've got the little Subway store in there, and this was a long time ago. This was when all three kids were home, and none of them were driving yet, and I had Braden with me, and we went into Walmart, and I seen a guy out there by the gas station holding a sign, said he was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
We went into Subway, got him a sandwich, and came back out, and I handed it over to Braden, because on our way out, he was going to be on the passenger side window. And I just kind of pulled up there beside him, rode Braden's window, and he's, "What are you doing?" I said, give this guy this sandwich. And he came, and I was like, "Hey man, you hungry? We got you a sandwich here. I don't know if it's exactly what you like, but it's a
free sandwich.
It's a free sandwich, a bag of chips, and a drink." He's like, "Oh man, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it." And I did that, one, out of my heart, but two, also deliberately, because my son was with me. I wanted him to see you know, hey, it's okay to help people.
Right.
Now, you can't always, if we were to always stop and give these people money or food or whatever, I mean, we can't always do that.
Well, the Bible
Sometimes
says
people can, but
Bible says don't cast your pearls in front of swine, right? There's
Exactly.
some that will just take advantage of it and trample it. So
yeah. But I was deliberate there to show, to be an example to my kid that, hey, it's okay sometimes to help people. And he was asking for food. His sign said food.
Food.
He didn't
Yep.
say,
Money.
I need money, or, you know, I'm out of gas.
Money for food.
Right.
Yeah.
So I gave him food, and he was very thankful for it.
And that's the thing I teach my boys is and the church is this is the one way you can know if it's legit or not is if you feel something say give them, then do it.
Yeah.
The devil will never ever tell you to bless somebody.
Right.
It doesn't matter what their intentions are to use it. If you feel that God says to give this person something, then do it.
Right.
Because God's going to bless you.
Yeah.
It's about your obedience. It has nothing to do with this person.
The devil will tell you, though, to make it be seen that you're blessing them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you can
so
be
you can
puffed up
grandstand it
and build your name
Yeah.
up and
Yeah,
all
see,
this other
that
stuff.
was one of the things, and that's what I was telling them that when we first met, right? It was just after the tornado in London. There's a lot of businesses that helped out, right? Thank God they helped out, but they had to make it huge
They had to make it
scene
known. Yep.
Yeah.
that they helped out, you know, and they would constant, and the mayor, they'd make sure they got pictures with the mayor and the sheriff and stuff like that. And that's what they asked me. Didn't you go get pictures and stuff? Because we took about 10 cases of beef jerky up because it's self-packed. It's good protein. Nobody had food.
Right.
They were taking snacks. I seen all kinds of candy bars and chips and stuff like that, but
No protein. Yeah.
no real substance. So we took that up. And didn't even
You didn't do it to
didn't
be
get no
seen.
pictures,
Right.
nothing. Because I would have felt like it would have been in vain,
Yeah.
right? And I knew God was going to bless us, but I wanted, because we were already blessed, to bless others,
Right.
You know. So, this ain't going to help. A bag of jerky is not going to help somebody recover their house or,
Right.
you know, take away the mourning of a lost loved one or a pet even.
No, but at least they won't go hungry.
But at least it might put a little bit of a smile on their face
Yeah.
in a brief moment. So
I know a guy personally who went and helped with all that. He owns a business. He has 2 or 3 trucks. They're just plain Jane trucks, you know, no decals, no nothing. He's got 2 or 3 trucks that's just plastered with decals about his company and all this that. He refused to take anything that didn't have his logo on it. He wanted to be noticed. He wanted to be seen.
right, free advertisement, right? Where because I see people, I seen all the comments of, "Oh, this is such a great place." There's one place in particular. I'm not going to call it out. We will always eat there just because of this. And they'd take table and set 25, 30 meals, prepared meals. Well, they'd have $2 a meal in the meal, you know, and have to maybe, I think they did $250 for the entire day. I took 10 cases. There's 50 bags in each case. You know, that's quite a chunk of money.
Yeah. Of your own.
Yeah,
And you wasn't up there
trying
getting
to
in
get
front
advertisements.
of getting in front of the news
I didn't get
camera
no-
lady that was there reporting on the tornadoes.
Yeah, and
That's
that
beef jerky.
yeah, that's
Hey, we're giving it out.
and I do want advertisement. I mean, I have to have advertisement,
But you're not taking advantage of
But I don't want
situation
for that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
And
That's
that,
not it.
Yeah, that is not a
That
time.
was just let's get this to them as quick as we can,
Right.
right? Because there's people that need something because this was right the day after it happened, right? We were going to the drop off and we dropped it off and then we go clean up a little bit.
I
and
think
help
if you're
people.
going to advertise, you need to get out there and work for that advertisement.
Right.
Not showboat.
Yeah.
That's all that is, a showboat.
Well, there's a lot of them that did and still got the advertisement. And that's fine. That's what I was saying. But now there was some that kind of skated that line on whether they were truly, they'd put up a booth and you come find me.
Yep.
These people are homeless and not got a phone most of the time. They don't know where you're at.
Right.
And the ones that could come find you probably don't need you. There was hundreds of homes got destroyed there.
Yeah. Well, I know.
So, but I won't, take away from that. It's just that kind of stuff, taking advantage of those. Like you said, look at what I'm doing. Look at all this that we did. And it does take away. And Jesus said, when you pray, not if you pray, but when you pray, don't do it like the Pharisees on the street corner. And,
Right.
Don't do it like that because they have their reward, but you do it for the sake of following me.
Yeah.
So
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing.
yeah. So
And you said it a moment ago, vengeance is the Lord's.
they have the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think at the end of the day, it all comes down to this life that we live is not just about us as Christians. We're supposed to be disciples. We're supposed to share the gospel, and it's not just about our families. It's about sharing with the lost and dying world.
Yeah. It's never about us. It's always about him.
Exactly.
So that's what we live for. So if you had any last few things to say, we first gotta mention, don't forget Thanksgiving is coming up.
I was about to bring that up, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a good time to bring it up after what we just got done talking about.
Well, I mean, because we need help with that. We're not saying, hey, look at us, but we need help with it. So we're trying to.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do, have you read, seen, heard anything? Okay. So what we're trying to do is we're going to give 25 dinners out this Thanksgiving.
Trying to.
And
full Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, full meals. Turkey all the way down to the pies, the sides and stuff. But
for 25 families, not just 25.
What it's for is we're going to help the needy, not the greedy.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there that's going to want this just because.
Yeah. Oh, here's a free meal.
Yeah.
Restoration does it every year too, though.
Yeah.
They get Cracker Barrel to cook it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they deliver. But
well, we're going to hand deliver every meal. They ain't got to come to us because we're in rural, Kentucky out here. There's a lot of people that can't make it out.
Right.
Even if you go to Cracker Barrel, whatever. A lot of people don't have vehicles.
well, they deliver it too.
Yeah. So we're going to hand deliver.
So we need assistance with that. We need help delivering.
Yeah. And I think right now, last Paul said is we've already got $1,200 raised, and then we got Jonah that's said he's going to cover a big portion of it.
Are these meals that's already cooked?
No.
Cooked?
No, I'm going
these
to go
are-
to
So
Sam's
you're going to
Club.
give them to them
A couple of days before.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Sam's Club, and I'm just going to load down with as much as I possibly can, and
Well, I saw Aldi's has a special. We need to look at that because they have a feed a family of 10 for $40. Aldi's has,
Wow.
which is an awesome deal.
that is. Yeah.
That's a whole turkey and all the ingredients for. Now it's all the ingredients to make a pie and stuff. So some of these folks won't know how to make a pie.
Yeah.
We may have to do it for them, but there's it depends on the family. Some people, I think if you give it to them to cook, they get that whole family vibe.
They get that
thing.
the opportunity to spend time together.
Yeah. And it brings
Actually make a meal.
make it
sit down.
feel like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, see, I done this last year, and I swore I only done 5, but everybody else saying we done 7 or 8. But I just bought the pies, the pre-made pies and stuff. It's like I don't want to make them do any extra work.
Right.
I want it to be,
Simple as possible.
and ready.
Taking their time and
Yeah.
out delivering it.
I even went. I bought a bunch of packs of Kinder eggs. You know what Kinder eggs are? The little candy eggs you can buy at the stores. They got a toy inside of them. Once you eat all the chocolate, the toy's in there.
Okay.
Bought a bunch of packs of Kinder eggs because I knew a lot of these families was going to have little kids and stuff. And man, them kids, absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I'd say you got blessed more than anybody that you gave it to, though.
Oh yeah.
Spiritually, probably.
Yeah.
I felt. That was one of the most joyful days I've ever had, getting to see that and be a part of that and stuff.
It obviously did because you really wanting to do it again this year.
I do, because if you haven't got to experience something like that, if you ain't got to see the shine after handing all that food over to somebody that was
Actually
just and stressing about how are they going to feed their kids that Thanksgiving.
How are you determining what? Do you know?
Well, last year what I done, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do again this year, is I just had the general public give me names and stuff, and then I vetted them myself. I tried to do all the research, look them up. I'd get on Facebook and see what kind of stuff they was posting. If they was posting cars all the time and this and that. Like if they showed any inclination that they was able to do their own dinner, I'd skip them.
Right.
And I done a pretty good job. Me and my wife worked very diligently vetting these people. We spent a lot of hours, vetting everybody.
And you're still going to get, taken advantage of eventually, especially when we're talking 25 families.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's going to happen. We're going to do the best we can to make sure that the people that get it actually need it, but
you have to be careful. I will say this from experience. When they put it out on Facebook through Restoration, there was like over 500
oh yeah
families.
Yeah, even us. Yeah,
that was needing or saying they needed
stuff. Yeah.
And I had opportunity, to go to meet at Cracker Barrel and get grab, half a dozen or so and take them out because they gave us an address and they tried to make it. Just say, for instance, you're going to handle the Kiwi area, so within a 10, 12-mile radius. So they wouldn't make you deliver one in London and then go down to Williamsburg and deliver one. If you was going to Williamsburg, they'd give you as many as possible in that area location. So, but anyway, it is like Jericho said, it's a blessing to be able to see people light up.
It is.
Share. And I personally, I just took the opportunity to say, you care if I pray for you, for you and your family. I don't know you, but I want to pray a blessing over your home and over your family, especially this time of year. And, take a 30-second prayer and give them their meal and tell them God bless you. And it does. It makes you feel good. And I took my kids with me to do that.
Right.
It's an opportunity to take your kids and let them know, hey,
no, we're
not as bad off as you think we are. These people need food.
Oh yeah. We got offered a restaurant. We don't know if we're going to use it yet or not. They said they would cook everything and we'd take it similar to what Cracker Barrel did.
Yeah,
so you're still kind of trying to weigh the options.
Kind of weigh the options because that's the more expensive route and you get less.
Right.
Really.
Well, then you've really got to have the people, the manpower to deliver them because they're going to be hot.
And
you got to have the
cold.
people. You got to make sure you got to be in touch with the families that's receiving it.
And you got to do it on Thanksgiving Day.
On Thanksgiving Day, are you going to be here at this time? I'm delivering your meal at 10:30 a.m. or 11 or whatever time.
And last year when I done, that's something else I liked about it is I didn't let any family know that they was receiving it.
Right.
I got their names, their addresses, and their phone numbers just in case I had to call them.
Right.
But yeah, for most of them, we just showed up, knocked on the door.
I think that's the advantage of doing a cold meal. So to speak.
There was only
unprepared meal.
Yeah. There's only one family we had to call because the GPS took us way off trail.
So that happened.
Yeah, so I had to call them and be like, look, we can't find your house. Where you at? So they knew beforehand, but everybody else was completely clueless. I even had some, even the day of, like I put on Facebook and stuff, we're going to be delivering them this day. You may or may not see us. That's the only hint
Then-
I give anybody.
Anything extra we get, though, money, food, or whatever that's not delivered or not used, we're going to carry that over into Christmas, right? So
And do
we're
like
gonna
a
do
Toys for Tots, even though we can't call it that,
Yeah.
copyright issues.
right.
But it's like something like
something
that.
like that, and snacks and foods for Christmas too. So I try to do some events for them, but that's where we're going to try to move the podcast. Is try to do a local business spotlight at least once a month, and then a community event every quarter, every 3 months, right? So,
And any business that does help or donates into this, we're going to sponsor them
Run
on
the
show. Yeah, we're
advertisements
going to run
on
their advertisements and
on our website here and on our Facebooks and stuff like that. So, and then the other thing we've got is we've got short films coming up that we're going to be starting to do. And we're looking for volunteers for that, actors, script writers, things like that. And we can't let you go, Larry, unless we asked you about.
3 simple things. Let's see your belief.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We'll start off.
Is this the hot seat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something simple. Aliens. What's your intake on that?
Illegal? You talking about
Supernatural.
aliens? God put life here on Earth, and He made the galaxy, He made the stars. Do I believe in aliens and UFOs and all this stuff? I've not really thought about it, but I have thought, why not? Why couldn't there be life on Mars or another planet? You know what I'm saying? I mean, but is it for us to know? I mean,
But it's
you get into the conspiracy theories.
what I tell them when they ask me that, right, when we get in that conversation, I always tell them anything not of this earth is defined as an alien, which would also include fallen angels or angels. Mm-hmm. So, and just like the Egyptians, with all the technologies they've had and all the technology advancements we had, have all been taught on Mount Hermon, which is where, the Watchers were. Book of Enoch talked about it. That's where the fallen angels were, and that's where they came down. And this is where they were teaching mankind, and this is what God sent the flood to get rid of, all the advancements in technology in the world. This would be what we would consider alien today, the flying saucers, anything that we'd see. Because if you even look at a biblical description of an angel, it would seem alien-like with the 1,000 eyes and the rings and everything like that. So that's what I say. It would be alien.
All right. Next one. Ghosts.
Holy Ghost, yes.
What about just your typical ghost? Your left behind soul or spirit or...
I believe in demons. I mean, I think
Right.
a demon can attach to us, and if we take something evil and, we're up on the Halloween season, I'll say yes to that. Yeah.
So I like I told you too, again, demonic, right? Mm-hmm. If you see anything that represents somebody familiar to you, it's wicked. Because there's no rest for the wicked, and the angel or even the Satan will come to you as an angel of light, right?
Yep.
So they'll come to you looking familiar with something like a past loved one that passed on or
Like
something
old
like
Aunt
that.
Sue or somebody.
But it's always to lure you in to communicating with the dead, because the Bible says don't do it.
Yep.
Doesn't say it's not real. It says don't do it. Stay away from soothsayers. Stay away from witchcraft. Stay away from talking to the dead. Let the dead handle the dead.
So the biggest controversy one so far, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Is that why he's over?
That's
Yeah.
why he's over. Yeah.
And he's here too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sasquatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really, I wasn't expecting these questions, so it's just something to stop and think about.
Well, we don't want you studying up on it.
Right,
This
right.
this
No.
is honest
I
answers.
know. Yeah. I mean, I've seen shows and everything on these sci-fi television shows, and Rachel and I used to love to watch. It was called Mountain Monsters.
Right.
I forget the channel it came on, but
That had like a lot of mythical stories.
Probably the history
stories
channel.
from old country guys going out and setting up record.
I bet that was
cameras.
on the History Channel.
Yeah.
No, it was on a different channel, but anyway, the main man passed away, and he was just an old hillbilly. They did something in Pike County.
Oh, yeah.
The mythical. It was called a Hellcat.
Uh-huh.
They do stuff around this area in the Appalachia area.
Right.
But I don't mulberry black thing.
Yeah.
Heard of that?
Yeah, we've heard about that. We talked about it here on the
talked
show.
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was raised up around that. That's where
Yeah.
Ronnie and I were raised, up around Yaden and Mulberry, up in that area,
Yeah.
Nevisdale. But as far as, I mean, I really can't give you an honest answer, because I want to say, why not? Why can't there be a Sasquatch out there in the mountains running around? But then again, it's like, I'm not going to say there's not, but I'm also going to say it's not something that frightens me.
No.
I don't go out in the woods and afraid, it's going to snatch me up. Because everything I've seen when they do go out on these hunts and everything, he don't want to be caught. He don't want
Pretty elusive, right?
Yeah, very elusive.
And it seems like if with all the technology we have now with trail cams and cameras everywhere, we'd have better footage.
I
of it.
wish my wife wasn't as bottled up as she is, because she really has studied up on this.
Yeah.
Like she can debate on this for days.
So now that brings me to my next thing for you, Jericho, and I was going to bring this to Paul. At some time in the next little bit, the show needs to be ran by the ladies of NSC. So, Leanne, Jessica, and Linda need to run the show.
I think
Come and do the
I
show.
think as long as us men wasn't involved in it at all,
Yeah.
that might turn out to be a good one.
Yep.
Just let the ladies sit here and
Yep.
debate with
Let
it,
them
each
sit
other.
here and run
But-
the show and debate it too. So,
But just like my wife says though about Bigfoot, I mean she's huge Bigfoot supporter, but she said they're so human like. They bury their own dead. Everybody's like, oh, why don't nobody ever find no bones or nothing? Well, one, squirrels eat bones, so that could be.
well, I didn't know that.
Well,
Squirrels eat bones?
yes, squirrels eat bones.
I'm gonna Google that.
That's why when you go antler hunting, you got to do it right when the antlers are starting to shed, or the squirrels will eat them. And but Bigfoot supposedly buries their own dead, and I swear I think I found a gravesite
really.
that might be Bigfoot. I can't unless it's just old ancient Indian gravesites. That's the only other thing I think it could possibly be. But there's 6 or 7 graves out here in the Daniel Boone, just way deep in the woods. And me and him was really close to it. I took him down there not long ago. We was recording for one of our short films.
I think, did you share a screenshot or a picture?
Yeah.
Somebody said somebody's got the old man way out here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
well,
the
that
wild.
day
Right.
we was really close to where I'm talking about that day, but there's 6 or 7 of these just rock formations that looks just like graves. I mean, they're about 6-7 foot long, just like you would see in like old Indian movies or something.
Yeah,
how
except
how they pile the rocks up.
7 foot long wouldn't be a Bigfoot though.
Well, I've not pulled a tape out measuring, but they're long. They're long, and they're just like somebody just.
How big's Bigfoot supposed to be though?
8-9
Yeah,
foot
he's
tall.
supposed to be pretty tall.
What if 7 foot was a dwarf Bigfoot?
Could be.
I mean,
could
it
be
could
a
be
dwarf.
it
yeah.
could be a juvenile Bigfoot or
Yeah.
anything. It's untelling. But what's weird about it is they're almost in a straight line, and there's numerous of them. What else would do that other than ancient Indians or something?
And that
But-
goes back to asking about spirits and ghosts. These Indian preserves, we don't mess with them
Right.
because of that reason.
Yeah. What is it? What's yes? Yes, squirrels do eat bones.
Squirrels do eat bones. They prefer long, dense bones, it says.
Which would be
Bigfoot
bones.
Bigfoot bones.
Oh, see now.
But no,
How silly. So the squirrels
I
are
already knew.
in conspiracy to
I didn't
hide
have-
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I didn't have to Google. I already knew squirrels do eat bones.
But it says like from deer. But that's where they get their calcium and phosphorus. So
I think you're onto something though about getting your significant others in here.
yeah.
Maybe just hit record for them and then
Yep.
go about your.
We
got a
start the
couple hours.
stream and let them run from it.
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, I think that's what we'll do with that. Anything else, Jericho? Did I miss anything?
No, that's the biggest thing. I mean, just all in general, like always, we are continuously looking for sponsors. Whether you want to, help sponsor the Thanksgiving giveaway, or you just, want to let us help you get your name out there. Reach more of the local community. We're looking for sponsors. We do have numerous packages made up. We do make commercials now, which that's an addition onto the sponsorship. If you're interested, reach out to us. We'll gladly explain everything to you, see what fits for you, and we can roll with it.
Yeah. And we appreciate you coming, Larry.
Yeah.
And it always, our first time having somebody on, we normally don't really get to the good stuff until right at the end, because that's when you finally get loose enough comfortable enough to actually start letting things come out.
Yeah.
So we'll probably bring you back at some point whenever you got
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
probably after sports season, because we know you're busy during that. But before we leave, go ahead and give us your best radio announcer voice that you do, so that everybody that's listening does recognize you.
Oh Lord.
Because as soon as I'm always driving by Campbell Field, like when I know that I can tell when you're there.
Yeah, usually it's Ronnie Smith doing the football at Campbell Field.
But he does the high school. You normally do like middle school sometimes too.
No, I did. I'm in the gym now doing PA for basketball,
right?
Girls and boys, and volleyball.
Well, like last year, when the middle school was playing, and I'd be going to the rec center to drop my oldest off at the rec center. I could hear you over there, and I'm like, "There's Larry!" I can tell. Instant recognition.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. So, when you ready to sign off, tell us whatever you'd like to tell everybody watching, and give us your best radio announcer.
You want it like done in a radio voice, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear
Your radio voice,
best
like
radio voice.
like what you do.
Oh man!
So
Don't you?
think,
You also work with Ronnie with that
Radio?
sound hype.
No, I haven't
Okay.
yet. That's PA and
Yeah,
everything too.
he's got you listed on the website, I thought.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to get me. I just get so when
Mm-hmm.
volleyball season's ending, basketball season's getting ready to vamp up
Right.
next month, at the end of next month, and so I'll always be at the high school gym with either a girls game or a boys game.
Right.
So
Basketball?
Mhm.
You said? Yeah.
yeah, and then you've got grandson. He's still playing.
Not for Corbin.
Oh, okay. Did
No.
he go?
We went to Lynn Camp.
Okay.
So we did that because, Coach P's great and all, but it's just wasn't going to get no playtime.
Yeah.
So at Lynn Camp, he's starter. He's getting actually, learn what it means to be a captain of a team, lead a team.
Awesome.
So, it's like I told him, I said, as long as you're playing and we can build your character and build your team, right? It doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to get the same opportunity you would have at Corbin for scholarships, unless you were a starter at Corbin, obviously.
Right.
But he's not going to get a chance to start at Corbin. I mean, when you're comparing to who the starters are, you got Ryder Akins, which is going to dominate.
He ain't there no more.
Well, okay. So, but I mean, that's the way.
Yeah.
I think they took Ryder. Didn't Ryder go to Lexington?
Two of the starters left.
Yeah.
One went to Riders at GRC.
Did he go to GRC? I thought he went to
the other one is at Lexington Christian.
Yeah, that's it. Lexington
Farmer.
Christian. That was Farmer.
Yeah.
Dawson Farmer. So Dawson was an 8th grader last year and would have been a freshman this year.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm starting.
So
they lost 40% of their start.
and that was Ryder. Ryder was a freshman last
28
year.
points a game.
Ryder was a freshman last year. Came in. He had been a sophomore this year, and then Landon's a junior. You know, and those two taking the varsity spots already.
Yeah.
And then you've got Eli Petrowski. He's going to be a starter.
Yeah.
His senior year. So Landon's chance of getting starting time was very slim. So it is what it is. If he's going to get a scholarship, he's going to get a scholarship no matter where he's at, as long as he puts in the work.
Yeah.
He's got to put in the work.
That's
so,
true.
But he get a chance of getting seen more at Lynn Camp. Though I could really talk bad about Lynn Camp because I'm not fond of the school system since we've been there, administration-wise. But they do have a new coach. Marcus is a brand new coach. I like what he's bringing in. He's doing really well with the team.
Good.
So,
well, my radio voice is not much different than my regular voice.
Right. It's just enunciated a little more,
Just
right?
enunciate a little bit more. So,
yeah.
It's like if you heard me at Campbell Field, I'd be like number 5, Jack Jackson with a 12-yard gain out of bounds, but not before another Red Hound first down. Be something like that. And then,
right. Red Hound first down.
So thank you, Ronnie Bright and Jericho, for having me on. No sugarcoating.
And with this and getting put out on Halloween, I just want to say Happy Halloween.
Right. Yep. Happy Halloween,
Happy
everybody.
Halloween, everyone.
Real quick, what's your thoughts on Halloween for Christians?
Well, you can again get into demonizing everything. Had a went last night, and my daughter-in-law's family they dress up. Nothing. I mean, the kids put on a Michael Myers mask and stuff, but nothing gory. They're not out scaring people and fake blood and all that. It was more or less just to get fellowship. His father-in-law was dressed up as a mad scientist, had on a coat and a little Albert Einstein wig and glasses. And
so again, it's all about your heart, right?
Yeah, it is. It's about your heart. I dressed up as a kid. I don't, I didn't dress up. They said, what are you here? What are you tonight? Just a middle-aged man?
Right.
I said, yep, I'm just Larry tonight. I'm a middle-aged, bald-headed man.
I mean, I like a good scary movie myself too.
Yeah.
I mean, but
it's your heart.
Yeah.
And conviction.
There's certain ones, right, that I'll go, no.
Yeah.
Because I know that they brought in actual witches to, we talked about like the craft. There's some that does bring in these spiritual advisors to teach them real chants. And I'm like, no, we're not going to allow that in the house.
Right.
But, a gore movie like Friday the 13th or, setting with the kids, nostalgia things that, that we grew up with. And
it's purely innocence.
Well, there's a fine line, I mean, it's all in the intent and the heart, right? Like you said, it's because you can allow demons in. We got to be very careful of what we allow in our home and in our head. Mm-hmm. But it depends on your maturity level of Scripture, right? So, because you're going to hear and see things as you drive down the road. And if you're too protective over your children like that and not trust enough in the seed that you planted of God with them, that God's going to be able to protect them, then the devil's going to come in and tempt them for a good time and it'll lead them down the wrong path. So,
At the end of the day, it's a heart issue.
It's a heart issue.
Heart.
Everything we do is about the heart.
Yeah.
So Paul said that he does what he doesn't want to do, and he doesn't do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So it's all in his heart. But with that, we appreciate you coming on live with us. We'll have you back sometime.
Yeah, thank you guys.
When you guys and then we'll get to actually start talking into the aliens and what you think, the demons and spiritual stuff.
Okay.
like the paranormal. We really get into demonic. You got any stories of?
Not this setting.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
so
there's one-
I mean,
I'll tell you
like
just
the next one's
just a little preview. We there's something known up there around Mulberry, a glowing tombstone, and I'll just leave it at that.
right.
Rachel and I actually, when we were dating, went up there I showed her, and it's like, you can scare a girl easier than you can
Right.
a guy because of the masculinity and everything. But there's supposed to be a glowing tombstone up there, but then again, when you get to thinking, is it a solar light that somebody's put by the tombstone, or is it just moonlight that's shining off, reflecting off of it a certain
Right.
way?
Well, when you were kids, there was no such thing as solar light.
No, and then, right, and then the Mulberry Black thing got out there in the woods, and you hear these noises and these screams, and I think sometimes we can get it in our mind. We're looking for something, we're listening for something. Like if you can freak yourself out being home alone at night.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can.
And you're thinking, is that somebody at the door? Is somebody outside? And then you get to being still and being quiet and listening. You're going to hear things, and your mind can play tricks on you, and it's going to tell you what you want to hear.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've rebuked a hat rack in a dark corner for hours before the sun come out.
Yeah, because you wasn't sure
Because
what
I
it
wasn't
was.
much sure what it was.
Yeah.
Just seen a big shadow.
But yeah,
looked like a human there. I've rebuked the fire out of that thing for hours.
That's great.
Yeah. So, because you just let your mind go. But we'll pick that up on the next show.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. God bless.